What's up, everybody, and welcome to our Week 15 NFL Picks and Preview Show. As always, Drew here with my co-host, Mr. Newman. How's it going, my man?
What's going on tonight?
Not too much. Watching this game, playing some. As always, you know me, playing some DFS second half and a couple of flash quarter games. Bunch of ridiculous stuff I probably don't need to be playing, but that's what we do. So hoping Lamar Jackson and a couple other people can help me out in this third quarter here.
Yeah, the Jets are missing a ton of guys. So
yeah, they are.
Their season's over with. So
what's up, Charles? How's it going, man? Feel free to call in the show, guys. And as I said, and as we always do, I just posted the link. All you have to do is simply click in. Tonight, we actually have a question that if you'd like to answer. And as always, you can call in and ask us anything you'd like. But we also want you to call in and let us know what spread you like the most this week. Call in or comment with your lock of the week. And there's a lot of games on the schedule. I think, John, you'll agree with me this week that the spreads, I don't know. I have not been this excited for a week looking at some spreads and over-unders than I have in a very, very long time.
It's funny. I took all favorites in my picks this week, and probably a bad omen, but I'm overly confident with the picks. I'm going to probably put money on these too as well. Put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, so to speak. You should. I mean, I think we're both probably planning on doing that. Right before I head down to Florida, I plan on sending a couple of cards off to get graded while I'm gone and place a few bets. But let's dive right into it today. And guys, like I said, please feel free to call in and let us know who's your lock of the week, or any questions you may have, or if you disagree with any of our picks, by all means, drop on in and let us know. But with that said, Mr. Newman, I'll let you kick it off as always. So what's your first pick of this week?
I'm taking the Browns. They're playing Arizona a week after the Steelers do, and I know Arizona's playing better than probably some people think they should, and Murray as well. But I just think the Browns haven't been eliminated yet, and until they are, I think they're going to try to win every game, and they're only given 2.5 points. So I definitely see them winning by at least a field goal. I mean, the Steelers didn't even play that great, and they won by 6 points. So and Baker's due for another one of those bigger games to kind of silence the critics. So I saw this, and it kind of really stood out to me.
Yeah, I saw this game too. I actually was thinking about picking it, but figured you might actually do that, so I'm glad I didn't. But no, I agree with you on this game. I do agree. I think the Cardinals, they've regressed. They just don't have the weapons. Murray, I think, is. I'm not saying he's not struggling by any means, but the team as a whole is. I think they're one of those teams where you'll hear me mention this a couple of times tonight. They're one of those teams that I think's kind of packed it in a little bit. They know where they are. I think they're moving towards, getting that better draft pick, because a couple of these games, and I think you're going to see that quite a bit in the next couple of weeks. I like Cleveland in this game because they've got a chance to get in the playoffs. So they're going to be playing hard until they're eliminated. I do see this, as much as I'm really not on the Baker bandwagon right now, which I'm not in any way saying I think he's a bad quarterback. I don't. I think he's a good quarterback. Just not a huge fan of his play right now. But I do think this is a little bit of a bounce back game for them. Like you said, the spread being so low, you almost are forced to take it. I love that pick.
Maybe they're trapping us in here.
It very well. Now, this could be a week that Vegas just straight up traps everybody, and maybe that's why I feel so comfortable about so many games. But I don't see this right here.
So my next game
What's up, Steven?
it's only a 1 point spread,
Yeah,
and it's really a huge game. You got
it
one team
is.
sort of they both need to win. One team's playing better than the other. Obviously, one's head coach has basically been replaced already. He
Yeah,
just doesn't know
yeah,
with who. And the
yeah.
funny thing is, they might make the postseason yet. So,
Hmm.
Rams Dallas, the Rams favored
Yeah.
by a point. Basically a pick 'em game for all intents and purpose. And so if you're going to give me sort of a pick 'em and a pick 'em spread,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to take the better team. I think the Cowboys, you're just hearing who their next coach is. That's a distraction.
Yeah.
I think the Rams got an outside shot to sneak in, and to do that, they got to win this game.
They have to. This is a must-win game, 100%. For both teams. This is absolutely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This game is in Dallas, right?
I believe so, which is probably why the spread's
Is
a
only
little bit
one.
lower.
It'd be four. Which what they're basically saying. I always give Vegas normally gives the home team 3, and then go from there. So you can add the 3, so basically make it 4. If they were in LA, which I would still take that spread in this game. I think, as much as I'm not a Jared Goff fan right now, I think Dallas is. They've got so much talent, and I'm not a Cowboys fan by any means. I do not like them at all, to tell you the truth. But I like a couple players on their team. I can't stand Jason Garrett. I don't see them making the playoffs this year. I see the Eagles actually sneaking into the playoffs over Dallas, and which I'll get to in a little bit. But this is a must-win game for both teams. I think this is where Sean McVay comes out and proves that he's the type of coach that we think he is, because he's not shown it this year whatsoever. It's not just the players. It has a lot to do with Sean McVay not adjusting at halftime, making ridiculous adjustments when he does. So I think this is a game where they come out with a really good game plan. I see him keeping the ball out of Dallas's hands. I see Gurley having a monster day. This is when Gurley starts to heat up, just like Derrick Henry. This is where they save Gurley for. I think you see a heavy dose of Gurley this week, and I could see the Rams taking this game. But at the same time, I could also see Dak going off. And so, this is a pick 'em game to me. But if I had to choose, I'd go with you and go with the Rams.
Yeah, and
Murphy says, Charles Murphy here, one of my boys, says the Rams are going to blow out the Cowboys, which that could very well happen too. So we'll see what happens there. But
the other thing, Drew, real quick with this game.
Dude.
Yeah, the other reason I took it, you touched on one of the reasons. I think this, when you get a close game like this, I think then coaching becomes a bigger factor,
a very big factor.
And you nailed it on the head. If you're giving me a choice of McVay against Garrett, I'm gonna. And I know he hasn't, like you said, it's not been a McVay year, but it's been better than a Garrett year. So I'll go with McVay, and I think that defensive front of the Rams is going to give Dak some trouble and kind of keep Zeke sort of contained. So I don't see Dallas putting up a plethora of points, and I think the Rams will score enough to win. And like you said, I think this is in an ugly division. I think the Eagles win an ugly division title.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. What's up, Ryan? How's it going, my man? But all right, buddy. Now on to your third pick of the week.
And speaking of this division, the other team vying with the Cowboys, somebody's got to win this division. The other two teams are done. And Philly's playing a division game against the Skins. They're favored by 4.5. Wentz is starting to play a little better. I think you're in a must-win game against the bad team, and I think they get it done. And when I saw 4.5 points, I just said they're going to win by at least touchdown, if not more than 1 or 2 touchdowns. So this one kind of screamed at me like to take it.
Yeah, when I mentioned teams cashing it in, the Redskins were really the team I was talking about more than anybody
Yeah.
right now. They're done. You're going to see they're going to be trying a lot of stuff out. You're going to see a lot of touches with Geis. You're going to see Haskins maybe get a little more open in the offense and have a little more chance to do some things that he might not have had the opportunity to do before. But on the defensive side of the ball, they're cashing it in. They're not expecting to win. They want to see what they have in a couple of these players. They know they have no chance of getting in anywhere. The Eagles, if Carson Wentz, look, I've given Carson Wentz a lot of shit on this show the last couple of weeks. And rightfully so. He's played like crap, although he has no wide receivers. And dude, they have like 18 tight ends on their roster. It's insane. I thought New England carried a lot. My God. But I understand he's playing with very little weapons, but you've got to overcome it. Great quarterbacks do. And this is one of those games where I do think Philly gets back on track. I think this is, if they're any type of team that's going to do anything in the playoffs, they better win this game, and they better win it by more than 4.5. So I'm right there with you. Philly 4.5 over Washington. Absolutely. So now let's move on now, John, to your lock of the week.
Now, I got to be honest with you. This will tell you what I think of my picks about being overconfident. Yeah. I could have went with any of them. I'm not even now talking about it with you. I'm not sure I made the right lock of the week, but I'll stay with what I picked originally, to be fair, obviously. And it's Tampa Bay over the Lions by 3.5. So we went all favorites this week. Kind of different or not. Yeah. I always usually take one underdog, not this week. The Lions are, you talk about teams mailing it in.
Yeah. There's another one.
There's another one. Tampa Bay starting to play better, even though they're not getting in the playoffs.
But Jameis Winston knows he's playing for his job. Yeah. Jameis Winston knows that he is playing for his damn job, and I don't know. I agree with you here. That's why I agree with this. He knows he's playing for that job. And if he does not win the next couple of games and does not have a good showing to finish out this season, he will not be the starting quarterback in Tampa next year.
Yep. And Matt Patricia suddenly putting himself on the hot seat now.
I think he's getting a little bit of a reprieve with the injuries. I think they're going to give him a little more time because the Lions the one thing the Lions are trying to do is show stability, because it's after Calvin Johnson left, Stafford's leaving. You've got some good pieces there. Obviously, you're winning games with Jeff Driscoll, and you've got pieces there, but they're trying to show organizational stability. Because otherwise they're not going to attract a single free agent. And now Matt Patricia needs to get a better defensive coordinator in there, or relinquish some of the defensive duties, or take them over. I don't know how that works over there. He needs to do something to start making that defense that he's so known for being so good at. He needs to start actually doing something with it. But I see him like you mailing it in, but I also see Jameis Winston fighting for his job. So I totally agree with you on this pick.
Yeah, I think the defensive coordinator in Detroit is Paul Pasqualoni, former Syracuse Orange head coach.
He is.
So we know him very well in these parts, and didn't end well here with him. So.
All right. Well, now we'll move on to my picks of the week, and then we'll dive on to our daily fantasy. And guys, please, like I said, call in the show. The link is in the comments. I'll post it again right now in the comments by itself. Feel free to call in or video chat in from your phone, tablet, computer, anything. It's incredibly simple. And let us know your lock of the week, or any picks you agree or disagree with, or anything you'd like to say about a game coming up this week. Anyway, all right, now on to my picks. I'm going with my first game of the week. We're going to be going with an over-under. I've had terrible luck with these the last couple of weeks. They've actually been the only things I've been getting wrong. So I probably should stop taking them, but I don't I'm pretty stubborn. So we're going with one this week, but I'm very confident about it. And it's actually Tennessee and Houston, and I'm taking the over at 50. And
Wow.
the reason I'm doing this at 50 is this is absolutely a shootout. And I did not realize this when I started taking these picks, but I'm just going to read you a couple of little stats real quick here. The Titans have hit the over in every single game Tannehill has played in this year. They've hit the over in every game. 50, you're telling me 25 apiece. Houston scoring 25 points. Houston is also a terribly bad defense right now, especially in the passing game. I can see Tannehill having a huge game this week. I'll get to that later. And I love the Titans right now. I was tempted to take them in this game, but Houston has screwed with me so many times. I'm staying away from their games from the spreads, but I'll go with the over-under. I see this game as both teams in the 30s at least, 35-30 easily. And so I've got the over at 50 for Tennessee and Houston.
Well, as that line in the movie, bold strategy, Cotton. But I don't know. This game doing that makes me a little nervous. You might be right, obviously. Tannehill is playing better, and
well, Derrick Henry's playing good too.
Yeah. I just Houston is maybe the team that sort of scares me more a little bit here because they're such a Jekyll and Hyde team, and I could see this being 30-17, like either way, either team winning, and that's 47. But I mean, based on the stats you read and the trends,
well, I'll read some stats. All right, here. I was gonna save it, but I got some because I'm gonna be talking about it here in just a minute. But Houston gives up the 6th most fantasy points to quarterbacks and cannot get pressure whatsoever to quarterbacks, 26th in the league. I see Tannehill having a ton of time, and they've given up 3+ touchdowns to quarterbacks 7 weeks this season. So I don't know. I like Tannehill this week. I like the over. I'll talk about Tannehill more later. But all right, on to the next game. This one is yet another game where I don't know if this team's just cashing it in or if they just traded away the players that I don't know. The chemistry's gone. I don't get it. One team, the chemistry's gone. The other team, I expected to be terrible, and I actually like them. Raiders 6.5 over Jaguars. A touchdown? Are you kidding me? I don't see the Jacksonville's got nothing right now. Besides a young receiving core that they're going back to Minshew this week, right? They are going back with Minshew, which that I do like. I'm just concerned that they really hurt him by pulling him. And I have a feeling you're going to come out and see him struggle his first game back because of what I said on this show countless times. The confidence factor. You ripped him out in the middle of an amazing rookie. I mean, it's not like he'd failed before. All he'd done is succeed, and you ripped him out for Nick Foles, and they struggled. And they've struggled since then, and I don't know. I don't know if they're a team that's going to give up, but I think Minshew struggles his first game back. And the Raiders, I love. I think Josh Jacobs, the Jacksonville run defense is awful this year. I think Jacobs is going to be on a tear. You give me 6.5. I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I like this pick. I like this so much. It really almost was one of my picks. So yeah. I can't argue with it. It's at the Raiders. So the black hole, and you got a young quarterback in Minshew. And you can say what you want about the Raiders. They actually usually play better at home, and that crowd they could be winless, and that crowd's still nuts. And so Minshew's going to go into foreign territory as a young rookie. Yep. And like you said, I think with everything going on, he's in, he's out. All the factors mixed in there. I think it's going to be maybe a long day for him and the Jags. And I'm with you on this pick so much so, like I said, this almost was one of mine.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just seems like a no-brainer to me, but maybe it's one of those trap games. All right. Next game, we already talked about it, but Eagles 4.5 over the Redskins. Love it. Mentioned every reason why earlier, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. But yeah, if the Eagles can't win this game, then I don't know. There's no reason they shouldn't.
It'd be funny if the Eagles and Dallas both lose this week.
Oh God, it'd be hilarious. I wouldn't know what to do with both. That's oh man, I hope they do just so we can talk about it. Jesus. Oh wow. All right. Now on to my lock of the week. My lock of the week, this spread blows my mind, and I don't understand it unless Vegas knows that 50 people are going to be out with the flu. It makes no sense. Vikings 2.5 over the Chargers. Are you kidding me? Rivers is probably getting benched for Easton stick or whatever, Easton hockey stick. I grew up using Easton hockey stick, so I mean, I don't know who they're putting in or what equipment they're going to be using, but I mean, Rivers seems to be. I mean, the Chargers are awful. They're terrible, and they're tanking right. They need to be tanking right now to get Phillip Rivers' replacement, because whatever quarterback falls to the Chargers is going to succeed. They just need a quarterback that can play. That's it. Yeah. And some guys to come back healthy. They do have some injuries, but like I said last week, Minnesota, I like their roster from top to bottom, all 52, 53. I like them more than anybody in the league. I think they're deeper than anybody, 100%. And so for that reason alone, I've got to take them as my lock this week.
Yeah, I agree. It's another game that was on my short list. So, again, I'm going to agree. All I'll say is this. Anthony Lynn's seat is very, very, very warm for the Chargers head coach. And if Easton Stick doesn't have an endorsement contract with Easton, I don't know what he's waiting for. Get that deal wrapped up.
Yeah, no, I dude, seriously. I mean, I don't know. I need to look into if his parents were hockey players. Probably not. But like, seriously, like, I mean, I know growing up, I was playing with Easton blades, sticks, everything. And he was 100% named after a hockey. They wanted him to be a hockey player. That's a gold mine. Like, I'd figure out a way to say if it fails in football, dude, just attempt to try out for hockey just for the money from advertising. But anyway, so now so those are our picks this week. Let me pull up so you guys can see the picks of the week again, and we can go into a little look-see here. So these are the picks. Once again, Tennessee and Houston over 50, Raiders at -6.5, Philly at -4.5, and the Vikings, my lock, at -2.5. And for Mr. Newman, the Browns at -2.5, the Rams at -1, Eagles at -4.5, and his lock of the week, Bucs at -3.5. And I got some catching up to do, man. As last week I went 1-2-1. Absolutely, I lost both games that I lost within the last 3 minutes of the game. Yeah. It went from being like I was like, oh, I'm golden, to okay, this was terrible. And as you can see, you went 3-0-1, so a comfortable lead on me with I mean, I got to make up ground this week because I mean, obviously we go through the postseason here, but regular season, you got a 6-game lead on me here with 9 games to go in the regular season. So I got to make a catch up here.
Yeah, well, in your defense, I mean, we didn't start from week 1, so it'll be an asterisk if I win the pick for the year. It'll be like Roger Maris. There'll be an asterisk there, and next year when we start from day 1, I think I'm looking forward to that already. Even though this year is still going on.
Oh, absolutely, man. All right. Well, now you know what time it is. It's if you guys haven't seen it in a while, it's time for our new segment of the week. And as you can see at the bottom, please, guys, call in the show. Link is right below. And give us, if you have a question about a game, if you have a question about a parlay, if you have a question about any DFS, which is what we're about to talk about, someone you should start or sit, comment or call in. We'll give you any advice we can. But right now, it's time for our DFS starters and sleepers. And Mr. Newman, who you got for your starter this week, my man?
Well, I don't know. He's not playing well, so I don't know. You could probably tell me he might be a little lesser value, but I think this is another week he has a game similar to the great season he had last year. We talked about him already. It's one of the reasons I picked the Browns game. I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get an ROI this week on him. He's not a guy I would normally be extra confident with, but I think, he's one of those guys, like every once in a while he's going to have one of those games, and I'm thinking it's going to be this week. So he could make me look really bad here, but that's going to be who I go with here. I think
nice.
I think he's bringing the same money that he once was.
Oh, no. And he's definitely quite a bit cheaper than he once was. And I like that pick. That's a smart pick because I think at least one of my DFS strategies is unless I'm taking a Lamar Jackson or somebody like that, I'm not someone that I think could put up 30 or 40 points alone and have some insane game, then I'm not spending a ton on a quarterback. And so I love that pickup with Mayfield. He's going to be in the mid tier. And I think I think he's a great option at quarterback because I do think he has a good week and a lot better week than he normally has. So I like that pick. And moving on from there, let's go to your sleeper of the week. And for your sleeper, who do you have for your sleeper of the week?
I'm going really kind of obscure. He just signed. You're not gonna like this because it's against your team.
That's fine.
This is kind of a wild card pick. This is like a boom or bust. I'm either going to be right or really, really off the mark.
Okay.
Josh Gordon with Seattle. He's got number one ability. That's why Seattle took a flyer on him. He hasn't had that breakout game yet. I kind of see this game, and you could obviously speak more to it, being a Panthers guy. I see this game sort of kind of being a high scoring, not a lot of defense going on type of game, something like 35-24 type of kind of game. And I'm thinking this is where Josh Gordon tries to tell Seattle, I'm your guy, not Tyler Lockett or anyone else.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like the pick because we have a lot of, for one, he's not that expensive, but two, we have a lot of problems in our secondary right now. And I think that's where this is just a very good pick. I think we get destroyed in this game. I kind of hope we do. I don't see us rallying around this interim head coach. I think we have a lot more problems than we're letting on. I hope we start to let a couple players like Brian Burns, now that Ron Rivera's gone, hopefully Burns gets to step back in, and he could cause all sorts of trouble for Seattle if he played like he did before he got in Ron Rivera's doghouse for who knows whatever reason why. He could end up causing havoc and ruining it for Russell Wilson. But we have a lot of secondary problems right now. And I really like he's lining up as the 2 and 3 right now, not the 1. Mostly out of the slot, and we've got major issues right there. So yeah, I could see him having, if he's going to have a breakout game the rest of this regular season, it's this Sunday. So I like that pick. I like it a lot. All right, now on to my DFS starters and sleepers. My starter, I kind of already gave it away earlier. I'm going with another mid-tier quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. His value's going up every week, and you can't really I can't do as much with him as you once could because a lot of people are going to be taking him probably now. But like I said, He's second to Lamar Jackson in fantasy points since week 7, since he started. Houston gives up the 6th most fantasy points to quarterbacks, like I said before. I love Tannehill. I think you have to go with him.
Yeah, he's playing well. Here's the question: Is that who they're going to settle on, or you think they still look for next year? Maybe in other words, is he going to be the starter in 2020, or are they going to still go and try to upgrade?
I think they upgrade if they can affordably. Like, let's say they have if they win out, they could be in the playoffs. They're not out. So if they make the playoffs, I could see him sticking with him and maybe maybe drafting a backup. And if that backup plays incredibly well in training camp or something, maybe giving him a shot. But if he leads them to the playoffs as bad as they were with Mariota, I think you have to give him a shot because what he's doing is tremendous. But if I'm them, it all depends on who falls in the draft because you've got pieces. You've obviously got a running back. You've got some good wide receivers. You need more help there, and you need some big-time help on defense and the offensive line. But like I said, Houston doesn't pressure him much. I like Tannehill in this game. But, yeah, I think you draft a quarterback if one that you like falls to you. I don't see them moving up. I don't think they need to with Tannehill now. I see no reason for them to move up now. So I could see Tannehill lasting there. I can see it happening.
Yeah, I agree. I think his play of late has really kind of silenced the doubters, at least for the moment anyway.
Yeah. Yep. No, I completely agree with you. All right, now on to my sleepers this week. Okay. I've got 3, but I'm going to give 1 as my sleeper and then 2 as other options. My deep sleeper this week, and this is somebody that is very, very boomer bust, but it's Raheem Mostert for the 49ers. Recently signed, doesn't play much, but a touchdown in 3 straight games. I see this as a point where his production almost makes it to where you have to give him more touches. So I see him scoring again in this game. So Raheem Mostert for the 49ers is who I've got as my choice this week. But I'll give you 2 others right here that I think are very, very, very worthy of consideration. One of them is Anthony Miller of the Bears. In the last couple of weeks, he has been Chicago's highest red zone threat there is. He's gotten he's turning into DK Metcalf is for Seattle in the red zone. He's turning into that for Chicago. I think Chicago has an opportunity to put some points up this week. So I actually like Anthony Miller. And then if Jordan Howard is out, if he's out, I don't know if they've announced it yet, but Boston Scott. Washington 25th in run defense over the past 6 weeks. I love this kid. If Jordan Howard's out, I think he has all the potential in the world to put some big numbers. But so Raheem Mostert is my big guy, and then Anthony Miller and possibly Boston Scott.
Well, heck, at this point, they might line up Boston Scott at wide receiver. They're so depleted anyway.
I know. I think he has potential to have a massive breakout game if he can get on the field. If he can get on the field. And that's if Jordan Howard's out, then he's going to be all over the field. If Jordan Howard's in the game, I don't know if you want to take him. Unless it's like some game time decision where they think he's going to be severely limited, then I would definitely go with Mostert or Miller. But all 3 of these guys are incredibly low priced. Like these are guys that you can take a flyer on that if they have that big game, you're going to win your league. You know, I mean, if one of these guys puts up 13 or 14 points and the rest of your team has a solid day, you're going to win. You're going to win in your league. You're going to be in the money. So I don't know. Those are 3 guys this week I would take a look at. I know we're supposed to pick 1, but I loved 3 of them this week.
No, that's
figured
that's
I'd
fine.
give away a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, and Anthony Miller, I love Anthony Miller. You know, we get a little hobby-ish here. You know, the 3 receivers I loved out of last year's draft were Anthony Miller, DJ Moore, and Calvin Ridley. And Miller's kind of been out of the three, kind of like the slowest to reach his potential here. And I like him. I mean, some of that may not even be his fault, to be honest. He's got some quarterback issues there. But Anthony Miller's a guy I like. If they can get some stability at signal caller, I think he's a number one type receiver. And like you said, coming on a little bit of late, at least with the in the end zone part of it. And hopefully, I'm not a Bears fan, as you know, but from a hobby standpoint, I have a lot of his stuff, including RPA. So selfishly, I'm looking for him to start playing better.
Yep, absolutely. Well, no, I completely agree. So, guys, before we wrap it up today, like I said, if you do have any questions, please call in the show. But before we wrap it up, John, just like we did last week, some of them might have missed it on Sunday. So I want to go back in, and I think we need to choose a winner here. We didn't choose one last week, so we've had a little while to choose. We're going to go back in and show the shit whip of the week since we had multiple. And I want you to let me know who your winner is this week as we go into our 3 nominees. So here we go with the recap. Here's number 1. Oh,
yeah, I don't like that. That's my guy.
I know you don't like it, but it's pretty. God.
That's Jalen Samuels getting his go wrong.
Hey, here's bam. I like that one.
Yeah, that one was good, but it kind of, it was, I don't know. It didn't get me.
It didn't get the big pop. It didn't get the big pop. It looked better in the up close slow motion, which I couldn't get a good recap video of. It looked a lot better on that initial drive.
You know what? Like what here, was more? This was more impressive than the finish. Like him just driving him back 5 yards like he was nothing.
And then number 3, obviously, we had our third here. I didn't know there was our third is going to be one of the funniest.
This is my pick. That's no secret.
Dude, just freaking love it.
Like if they do upgrade at quarterback next year, the Titans, Tannehill still might be in the starting lineup as a linebacker. They might move. So if they got like one of the top tier quarterbacks, Tannehill will just go to linebacker for him. So he might still have a job. It's just what position is he going to play?
Yeah, and and while I like the Jalen Samuels hit, because I always like when helmets fly off, I have to agree with you here. The guy that knocked Jalen Samuels' helmet off gets paid to do that. The guy that just took down that massive man and drilled him completely, like you said, is the man throwing the ball that's not supposed to get hit. So I think Tannehill's got to take the win this week. This is a show about Tannehill, apparently.
And the deal, Drew. Most quarterbacks, when they throw a pick, they have no interest in any kind of contact. They usually run the other way.
No, exactly.
If you watch that play, there's actually another angle of that play that's a little bit better.
It's better. Yeah.
And he actually takes a great angle to avoid a block as well. He could have just ran into the block and went down and say, well, I did try, it didn't work. But he took a great angle to avoid the block, and then he laid the dude out. So real impressive. He says, man, I threw an interception. I got to make up for it and light this guy up.
Yeah. Well, here, I think I might have just found that one. So hold on for just a moment.
Yeah, this other angle.
Maybe we can get that other angle, because I'd like to have
it's from the backside. It's from the backside. If that's the one.
So what game are you looking forward to most this week, John? What's your?
I mean, if you take out the Steelers, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, as a Steeler fan and now in the playoff hunt, that's the game I'm looking forward to. I think it's a game we talked about, Dallas and the Rams. I just think, you can call that what you want, but I might just call that playoff elimination game. Whoever loses that is going to be on the outside looking in. And especially for Dallas, if Philly wins and they lose,
Yeah.
They're going to be a game behind with 2 left, and they play each other, and they're not trending well. They're losing. Is this the angle?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
no,
we'll
I completely agree with you on that, 100%. But as I said, let's look at this beautiful play, the shit whip win of the week. So
this
throws the
angle's better.
interception.
Now
Yeah,
watch Tannehill. He
exactly.
says, "You know what? I'm still running."
Boom! Like that is a hit. That's a quarterback. I love it. That is a quarterback.
It's funny. I'm a little disappointed though, if you watch the end of the play.
There you
Like his
go.
offensive teammates didn't really get that excited. They were more disappointed he threw the
Yeah,
pick.
I know. Well, yeah, of course they're going to be celebrating, but if I'm Tannehill, I'm like, yeah, I just showed you what I can do, bro. Oh wait, maybe they show a little more here. Let's see. Let's see if they show the hit again.
Watch the angle he takes.
Yeah.
Watch the angle he takes.
Oh
to
no,
still
it's
make
beautiful.
This tackle.
It's beautiful. Like he takes it the way he's supposed to.
Yeah.
Like amazing.
Like
Love it.
It's crazy, man. That
Love it.
you don't see that often,
and you don't.
So I'm impressed. Like I want him to throw more interceptions to see him make more tackles.
I know. Well, who knows?
I want him out there on special teams. Get him out there on kickoff.
Hey, yeah. I mean, you might as well. He's doing everything else for him. But
and he ran that guy down. Like he was moving. I didn't realize he was. That's another thing. I didn't think he was that quick. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that quick. I'll agree with you there. I had no clue he was that fast. At all. But all right, guys. Well, before we wrap everything up, so Ryan Tannehill does win the shit whip of the week last week since we had 3. But once again, guys, before we go, our picks of the week, Mr. Newman, who is 25-18-1 overall. His lock of the week is the Bucs at -3.5, Eagles at 4.5, Rams at -1, and Browns at -2.5. And myself, my lock of the week is Vikings at -2.5, Philly at 4.5, Raiders at -6.5, and Tennessee and Houston, the over at 50. Take that one too as well. Throw some money on that. Yeah. That thing is going way over 50. I promise you.
I like all your picks, Drew. That one makes me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Wow. I know you read the trends, and you're probably gonna win it. I'm not saying I would bet against you. Yeah. But out of the 4 picks, that one makes me a little bit the nervous of the 4, I guess you'd say. You could be 4-0. I don't get me wrong, but that one is not. If I ranked them in order of how that would be my 4th. Yeah,
I hear you. All right. Well, guys, as always, main show Sunday. I'm going to be down in Florida, so I'm going to do my best to be on the whole show. Definitely will be on as much as possible. Do have some actually taking my son to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra that evening, but it'll be over and stuff like that by the time show starts, so we should be able to be on for as much as we can. But as always, check out Mr. Newman's show. Sports Card Nation has an episode coming out tomorrow that if you are a collector, I highly recommend you checking out, as he has Mr. Brian Gray, the owner of Leaf, coming on for apparently a pretty big tell-all interview. So definitely check that out. And also I'll have an episode of Let Me Get That Potograph out right before I head out of town. So lots to check out in the meantime. But Mr. Newman, as always, it's a pleasure, my friend. And I will talk to you soon.
Fun. Enjoy Florida, dude.
Appreciate it.
While I freeze here in New York State. So I have to live vicariously through you and Jude.
My mom told me it's going to be cold. She said it's going to be in the 60s at night. I was like, Jesus, mother. I was like, oh, my God. Oh, it was like my son would laugh if you said that. He's 4. Like,
that's funny.
But anyway, thanks, man. And as always, thanks, everybody, for joining. And make sure to call in. As always, hit us up on social media. The Christmas contest, we're going to start announcing that information this week. But I'll go on and tell you step 1 already. go over and follow the YouTube channel, Hobby Roundup. Just check it out on any of our posts. We posted the links all over everywhere, but go on and subscribe there because that's going to be part of the giveaways, and you're going to love them. It's going to be a fun one. But till Sunday, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
See you guys.